Alrighty, multiplying polynomials part 1. This is basically a review of what we did in Unit 6, Level 1. Multiplying with exponents together and trying to simplify. So let's take a closer look. If I wanted to rewrite this, I could say it's 5 times x times 4 times x times x times x. And then how would I rewrite it? It becomes 20x to the 6th. Go ahead and hit pause and see if you can figure out B and C on your own. We have negative 3 x y y times 4 times x times y y y y y y. I don't know, 5 y's. Negative 3 times 4 is negative 12. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 of the x's and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of the y's. If you didn't try C, hit pause and try it. 2 times r times t times 5 times t times t times t. 2 times 5 is 10. R to the 2nd power, t to the 4th power. That's it. So that's definitely a review of what we've already been doing, but what you recognize is that technically inside of the parentheses, I have a monomial. That means it's a single term, not a polynomial that has 2 or more. So I have a single term multiplying to a single term. But now what's going to happen is we have a single term out in front of the parenthesis that's going to multiply to the polynomial inside of the parentheses. So this is a review of middle school. This is the distributive property. This 5 has to multiply to everything. And so 5 times 2x is going to be, well, actually, let me rewrite this. So the 5, I'm going to rewrite this polynomial, 2x squared plus x plus 4. I'm spacing them out on purpose because the 5 is going to multiply to every single one of these terms. So we've got the distributive property happening here. And now, can I simplify that? Can I simplify that? Can I simplify that? So 5 times 2 is 10, plus 5 times x is 5x, plus 20. If that was too fast, finish copying it, rewind it, and watch it one more time where you're not trying to keep up with me. Hit pause and see if you can do E on your own. Again, this 4a has to distribute to everything. Actually, let me go back. This one, I should have finished these. The 5 multiplies to each one. So let's go back now over here, okay? I'm gonna first rewrite a squared b plus 2b squared. That's the original polynomial inside, but this 4a has to distribute to both of them. So 4a is going to multiply to the first term, and 4a is going to multiply to the second term. But now, how can we simplify this one? This is really 4 times a times a times a times b, plus we have 4 times a times 2 times b times b. So here is 4a to the 3rd b plus 4 times 2 is 8, ab squared. See if you can do F and G on your own. You do not need to show this work. You are allowed to go straight to the answer. So try F on your own. I'm going to start this one off by skipping the work you don't have to show. I can say 2x squared y times 3x. So 2 times 3 is 6. X squared times x is x to the 3rd. And then I still have the y. Then 2x squared y times negative y is a negative answer, so minus 2x squared y squared. So this y is only going to increase the count on the y. Nothing else was going on there. And then that's my final answer. You don't have to show the work, but if you want to, you could. I could show how I'm going to take the original polynomial that was inside of the parentheses and how I'm going to distribute this 2x squared y to it. And then when I multiply this guy out, it turns into this. Hit pause and process if you need to. G. This monomial out front is going to distribute to the binomial inside. Negative 3 times 5 is negative 15. A times a to the second is a to the third, and then I have b. Negative times a positive is a negative. Negative 3ab times b, that b is only going to change the count on the b. So it becomes 3ab squared. So again, if I wrote how this is going to distribute, it becomes negative 3ab times 5a squared plus negative 3ab times b. So we have negative 3 times a times b times 5 times a times a. And then a positive times a negative is a negative 3ab squared. All right, that's it. Your homework's on the following 2 pages.